Super Mario Galaxy. One of my favorite video games ever made. I can't say it's my number one though, because I get beaten up at school for that. I always enjoy coming back to this game. I usually do at least once a year, and I always go 200% while doing it. I'm sorry, but if I replay Mario Galaxy for the gringillionth time and don't make Luigi have an existential crisis, I'll just feel like an incomplete man. I'm clearly not alone in my utter love for this game, as many other people across the planet, across the planet have the same nostalgia as I do for it. Now, I could just make a generic review on this game, saying the goods, the bads, and if it aged well, and blah blah blah. But I feel that this game is just too special, at least to me, to get the simple review treatment. No, I want to do something different. I want to take a more experimental approach. Meaning, why does Super Mario Galaxy leave such a mental impact on people? And I know that sounds crazy to anyone who hasn't been within 5 feet of a Mario game, but I've seen it with my own 2 bulging eyes. People who grew up with this game always seem to have a story to tell about it, whether it be fond childhood memories or goosebumps horror stories. Maybe I'm just living under a rock, but I have seen no other game manage to impact people's lives like Super Mario Galaxy. Actually, wait, that may be wrong. Five Nights at Freddy's made an irreversible impact on our society. Anyways, I suppose this video is my retrospective on Mario Galaxy, but not in the traditional sense. This is an unorthodox, psychological, finger-licking, gringulous retrospective and Knuckles. And yes, I am deliberately making this retrospective gringulous, otherwise I'd go on another fish ranking tangent. That probably means my avatar will be much help, will it? Fuck it, Unagi mode. In any case, I should probably stop stalling already and just answer the question from earlier. How does Super Mario Galaxy get to you? Well, to answer that question, let's start where everyone else starts. The title screen. The very first thing you're gonna see when opening the game, and oh, whoa, hold your horses, buddy. Let's rewind a little and just sit on the screen for a bit. You might be wondering why I'm forcing y'all to sit on the title screen and do nothing. But keep in mind that most players, upon opening the game, are gonna want to get into the game, meaning a lot of stuff that happens here gets overlooked. And yes, while not that much, stuff does happen here. The loud, orchestratic opening is really the only part of the song like this. Everything after that is just a calm, lonely piano with the occasional warbly-wop sound effect thingies. You know what I'm talking about, right? You might also notice that the camera is constantly panning, which, if you sit there for long enough, will reveal a big comet in the sky that you don't typically see. Perhaps the comet as seen in the very beginning of the game? Anywho, enough dawdling, let's make a new file and actually play oh goddammit, my thing's lagging again. Okay, quick tangent. So during the making of the fish ranking, I needed Golden and a few other people to get some footage for me since at the time I didn't have a capture card. Then I actually bought a capture card from Walmart so I could get some footage myself, but when I do, 9 times out of 10 it comes out as laggy garbage. And I don't even think it's the capture card's fault, it's just my shitty ass laptop has like no graphics card. So yeah, that's the story of why some of that Waluigi pinball gameplay footage looked slightly pixelated. What was I talking about? Getting back on track, let's look at some of Mario Galaxy's levels. And where else to begin other than Gateway Galaxy. This is the player's introduction to the gravity mechanic, so not a lot happens here. It's just you and this planet, seemingly in the middle of nowhere. That is until the actual mission part starts and all this comes out of nowhere. We don't need to worry about that. After chasing down some furry Lumas, you're met with this game's very own Rosalina. She appears very mysterious the first time you meet her, only saying she's the Watcher of the Cosmos, gives Mario the power to speed, then fucking dies. She comes back though, don't worry.
I always come back.
Gateway isn't the only atmospheric level in the game, far from it in fact. Basically every single level has its own sort of unique atmosphere. Good Egg has that sort of triumphant march to it like your grand space odyssey has only just begun. Space junk, just you and a lonely piano. Almost like it's lost. How fitting. Battle Rock, like we're in some kind of 90s action movie, infiltrating the enemy base. Cool guys don't look at explosions. sweet, sweet galaxy. Oh, look at all these greasy, succulent dishes. Oh, and how could I forget? Beach Bowl Galaxy. It's just a calming beach level with penguins everywhere. What could possibly go wrong? There's even more levels I haven't touched on, but I think you get the gist. Every level, almost every level, has something special to it, making them all memorable in their own ways. Why? These levels, while good, mostly, are just so on rails for a 3D Mario game. That might not sound like a big deal, but if you remember from Super Mario 64, whenever you enter a level, there's no set order in which you get the stars in. Yeah, they're on a numbered list, but you could legitimately get these in complete reverse if you really wanted to. Hell, fast forwarding to the future, Mario Odyssey follows an extremely similar concept, pushed to its limits with the sheer amount of moons in each kingdom. Mario Galaxy is not that. You pick a mission and you do that mission and only that mission. The only time you could ever possibly veer off the path is when you discover a hidden star from like a Hungry Luma or something. Not to mention, the levels themselves are painfully straightforward. Other Mario games have that big open plain that you could just fuck around in. Meanwhile, if you ask me to explain the path for Dino Piranha, I draw a squiggly line. So if the level design for the game is so limiting, then what makes it so memorable? Well, you see, Mario Galaxy kind of has this thing for style over function. Okay, that probably sounds like an insult, just let me explain, okay? Every launch from a planet feels fantastical. Complete camera control is traded for stellar shots and angles, otherwise not possible in any other Mario game. For just being a simple transportation system to get from point A to point B, soaring through space never fails to give you that sense of journey, discovering new planets. Hell, even watching entire planets be born has that sense of discovery. This game, by definition, isn't open world, yet it houses some of the most open spaces I've seen in a video game. Probably because it's space. I could say even more about this matter, but I gotta move on at some point. I recommend you watch this video by the Cursed Judge for more detail. Plus, he probably explains it a little better than me. I'll leave a link to it in the description. Good watch. Now, on to a topic you probably weren't expecting. An aspect of the game that often goes overlooked, even by myself. The characters. Bold claim incoming, but Super Mario Galaxy hands down has the best characterization in the Mario series. Now, you might not realize it, I most certainly didn't until my latest playthrough, but this game has, like, a lot of dialogue. Not to mention, a lot of this dialogue is completely optional. You don't have to engage with any of this. Yet damn near everyone who's played this game has popped their heads in the library at least once. In this aforementioned library, you'll find Rosalina herself sitting down and reading to the Lumas from her storybook. Don't ask how she got there. This storybook is very important to establishing Rosalina's character. I won't go super in depth as of right now because I want to save this storybook for when we talk about this game's story. Just know for right now, girl goes to space, girl becomes sad, girl becomes goddess. Keep in mind, they didn't need to make this entire story that has zero effect on the game whether you engage in it or not. As a video game, none of this should be important. And yet, so many people look back at the story fondly. It solidifies Rosalina as one of the most well-developed characters in the Mario series before Mario Kart 8. What the fuck? This game introduces other cool characters too, like, Guppy? You swim in his farts for a star, how nifty. And, what about Honey Queen? The most necessary Mario Kart character whose body you climb all over while she moans. Yeah, actually, I don't like this. Get me out of here, please. I don't want to... Captain Toad! The entire Toad Brigade, but mostly Captain Toad, has to be one of my favorite characters in this game. He is such a fucking dumbass. I love him. I feel like you could make a TV show about the Toad Brigade cast. Just think about it. Captain Toad is the absolutely not competent leader of the group who just has his partners do his bidding. The actually blue nerd Toad is the only one actually doing their job right. The yellow one is lazy and constantly sleeping on the job. Green Toad loves building shit, mostly cannons. He has a weird satisfaction with cannons, I've noticed. And how could I forget Male Toad? I don't know what your personality traits are. Is delivering mail a personality trait? See, despite being all near identical Toads, they all manage to have something quirky and unique to them. What a lively cast of characters. Take notes, treasure tracker. Oh, and speaking of tracking treasure, Luigi! You meet him in Ghostly Galaxy, how fitting, after you unlock the kitchen. By this point in the game, you'd probably think you've seen it all. I know I saw it all when I entered Beach Bowl Galaxy, but the game surprises you by introducing yet another new character to the mix. Oh, why don't you tell me I won the lottery as well? I'm not just soying out over the fact that Luigi is in the game at all either. Like, I swear, no other game in the series captures the bro aspect of Luigi the Mario Bro quite like Mario Galaxy. For example, after you save him from Ghostly Galaxy, he makes it his mission to help Mario get more stars, but to a lesser avail. So Mario himself needs to travel all the way over to the galaxy he's stuck in and save him once more. Gameplay wise, these are probably the most piss-easy stars in the game, but come on, you can't not find this at least somewhat charming. Oh, but it gets better. In the Luigi mission in Battle Rock Galaxy, after you free him, he starts getting all sassy saying, "Oh yeah, Mario, I found the star, but make sure that the Mama Rosalina knows I found it, okay?"
I found it.
I bet you any money he even painted the star green just to mark it as his. So yeah, that completes the 4 horsemen of cool characters in Mario Galaxy. Wait, what? What do you mean I only named 3? Bowser. Oh yeah, Bowser. I mean, I guess he's scary and all, plotting to take over the entire universe rather than just the Mushroom Kingdom or let alone planet Earth. Wait, does Mario live on Earth or is this a Mobius Earth Sonic's World sort of thing? But you see, should we really be phased at this point? Like, come on, it's Bowser in a Mario game. When does Mario ever not prevail? Literally the only world-ending disaster that happens here wasn't even planned by Bowser. He was too busy falling into the fucking sun. Which, by the way, how is he still alive after that?
I always come.
Yeah, Bowser in this game, when you boil it down, is just kind of your normal Bowser stick. The only real difference is that the spectacle is turned up to 11. Like, seriously, look at these opening and ending cutscenes. They're gorgeous. Holy fuck, lightning hands? Hello? When did he have this ability?
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Well, I've held it back for long enough. Time to talk about the one, the only, story of Mario Galaxy. It's alright. Hey, whoa, hold your pitchforks and torches for a second. Now, I know you might be screaming at me through your screen telling me, but Brat766, the storybook is awesome, what are you on about? And to that I say, who said I was talking about the storybook? A lot of people go to this very storybook when they say this game has a good story, and yeah, I can't deny that the storybook does in fact have a nice story, being the backstory of Rosalina in case you couldn't figure it out yourself, but this is more so a side story. The main story is basically just your typical Mario shenanigans. Bowser kidnaps Princess, go save Princess. It's mostly just presented here in a way more cinematic fashion. So yeah, not much to say on that. Not that it matters, because all the juicy shit is in the storybook. As I said before, this storybook is the sad origin story of Rosalina. Well, actually not just that, but it gives some background on the Lumas as well. The Lumas are present all throughout the game. You can find them practically anywhere. They're depicted sort of like children. They're young and naive and stupid, kinda like the storybook a little. Since Toads are primarily Earth/Morbius/Mario's World creatures, and the only Toads currently outside of their home planet are just a band of misfit travelers, the Lumas are essentially their stand-ins. So you might be wondering why I'm providing such detail on a bunch of seemingly unimportant NPCs. But trust me, there's a reason why we're talking about them now and not in the character section of this video. Totally not because I forgot them mid-script. Going back to Rosalina, she shows that she is the mother of all these stars. I mean, the Lumas literally refer to her as Mama. That's nice and all, but also, she's not really their mother, is she? I mean, come on, do they look related? In the storybook, an apricot Luma crashes down in a conspicuously mushroom-shaped spacecraft and tells young Rosa that he's looking for his mother, who said she'll arrive to him from a comet. Rosa, being the naive kid she was, agrees to repair the spaceship and wait for Luma's mother with him. The Luma's mother in question never comes. From chapter 1 to the epilogue, Luma never actually reunites with his mother. But what if he did? The apricot Luma isn't the only Luma young Rosalina meets. After they find the comet with no mother on it, another Luma comes down with seemingly the same objective, to find their mother. Then another one comes down, and then another, and suddenly they all start calling Rosalina Mama. It almost feels like fate in a way. Like, it seems that Luma and Rosalina met by complete accident, and who told that Luma that their mother would arrive to them on a comet? Actually, who told any of the Lumas? The only one they end up calling their mother is Rosalina. Perhaps the comet the Luma was referring to was the comet they landed on, and their mother all along. I'm sure you can figure it out. Again, this has to be some kind of crazy fate. No fucking way any of this happened by pure coincidence. Now, in all fairness, silly old me is looking at this from a logical standpoint. There are two problems with that. One, this is a Mario game, and B, the story is supposed to be childish. The story is told from a childish perspective. Neither of our protagonists really see the scale in things. Or at least, they don't see the scale in things until it's too late. All throughout the book, there's just been this childish innocence that stuffed rabbits and butterfly nets are essential for space travel, that starvation can be cured with starbits. But suddenly, Rosalina has all of that childish innocence ripped away from her. Rosalina's mother is a mysterious character throughout the story. She's only seen once, and it's from a dream, telling Rosa that she will always be watching over her. One day, upon seeing her home planet from afar, she bursts into tears. She knows her mother isn't watching her because all this time, her mother is sleeping under the tree on the hill. The Lumas, despite all of this, remain optimistic. The main Luma we've been following throughout this entire story, quote-unquote, sacrifices himself to turn the once stationary comet into one that will travel to her home planet every 100 years. That's the goal of the Lumas, to expand the universe, to become planets, launch stars, power stars, hell, sometimes even entire galaxies. The Lumas represent the stardust that builds our universe as we know it. After the whole factory reset thing, Rosalina herself says, and I quote, "When stars die, they turn to stardust and scatter across the cosmos. Eventually, that stardust reforms to create a new star, and so the cycle of life continues." Witnessing the Luma's rebirth, and with all the support from the other Lumas, the young girl couldn't stay sad. She took every single little Luma under her wing. From that day on, starbits never fell from the girl's eyes. The Lumas show that childlike innocence, not in a bad way, but display that sometimes it's good to just tap into your inner child. That's how I feel playing this game, no matter how old I am doing it. I feel that 7-year-old me is playing the game as well. This game is practically made to be nostalgic. Every twist, every turn, every funky little interaction is made to leave you with an unforgettable experience. The storybook centers around the girl's severe nostalgia for her home planet and her family on it, almost mirroring many people's, including my own, nostalgia for this game. Everything is connected. From start to finish, everything is practically tied in a way, even the storybook. After Rosalina's conflict is resolved, she continues to live her life peacefully on the Comet Observatory, with the Lumas in tow, as the comet resumes its journey. This comet is still traveling to this very day. Every game never comes without its flaws. It's physically impossible to make a perfect video game, and Super Mario Galaxy does in fact have a few minor issues of its own. Yet, whenever I talk about this game, I can't think of any other words to describe it other than perfection. Whether that be from a masterful gameplay design philosophy to just the little things, Super Mario Galaxy is our greatest example of the perfect Mario game. I have no issue calling this my favorite Mario game by far, and I think many others would as well, because we remember this game, it sticks with us. We've been cherishing this game for damn near 20 years now, and here's to even more to come. Thanks for watching. Thank God I can finally take off this fucking